Alright guys, here it is. My progress on 100 Years War for Hail Caesar. Right now I'm working to try to get the English and the French forces all built up, a division of each, and then at that point I'm going to start filming a small Hail Caesar battle report. I figure because I have two forces that are in progress and in good progress that I'll start playing Hail Caesar on the channel by using 100 Years War for that, because unfortunately, as much as I want to do Romans, I only have my Romans done and not my Gauls from the invasion of Britain set. But here I've been building up my parries to try to get a division of each, both the French and the English, for 100 Years War. All right, to the right we have the French. We have one battle of French men-at-arms and then half of a half squadron of French mounted knights. I'm going to talk a little bit more about them later on. On the left, we have more English that have been completed. I have a 6-man unit, a tiny unit of archers, which I'm going to expand to a full standard or medium-sized unit after I complete the next base of archers. And then we have Sir Thomas Erpingham, who led the archers in the Agincourt, the Battle of Agincourt. Behind them we have a battle of English men-at-arms. They're all wearing pretty much full plate armor. And the only reason why I'm actually making more progress on the English is because they're quite easy to paint. Obviously, being mostly plate armor, all I have to do is use silver or plate mail primer and then color in some of the details, and they're pretty much done. Whereas with the French, at least from the parry kits, many of them are wearing jupons, and they were more colorful in terms of the heraldry and what they're wearing. So it takes a little bit longer. Behind them, and I'm very happy about this, is King Henry V with his shield bearer and a banner. So we're going to take a closer look at these so that you can see how much fun I've been having with getting this done. And then I'm going to talk a little bit about how I'm going to proceed and try to get to a division of each, a division for the English and a division for the French, which will allow me to play a small game of Hail Caesar 100 Years War. So, all right, here's the battle of French men-at-arms closer. Obviously blue and yellow as their color choice. I will need to put a banner right here, although I haven't decided who this battle of French men-at-arms will represent, but we'll figure that out in a little bit. All right, next up we have a battle of English men-at-arms. They're using red as their accent color with a bit of gold here and there. This will represent part of Henry V's division. Eventually, when I expand out to having all the commanders have their own division, so I will need to put a flag, Henry V's flag, right there. And yeah, so with that being said, this is the first box of Agincourt foot knights that I've completed, that I started quite some time ago. This actually adds a battle each for the English and the French divisions. Next up, I will have another box of foot knights to complete, which will once again add a battle each to that division for the English and French. So, all right, moving on. All right, one of the earliest models that I started working on were these French mounted knights. I put them on these, I think, 60 by 80 bases. I wanted them to have a bigger base, especially since the French mounted knights were using lances, I guess. So I wanted that to be represented by a larger base. Again, I'm only putting 3 per base here. So this represents a quarter of a full squadron of cavalry, which starts at 12. So I think initially I was planning on splitting the box of Agincourt mounted knights, 6 for the English, 6 for the French. But in the preceding months, I've somehow lost a sprue of horses, which makes it difficult to do my initial plan for that. So now I think what I'm going to do is make the remainder of the knights that I can out of the horses that I have, and then just give those to the French. So with that said, I'm just going to move this out of the way. Here's the sprue of riders or knights or cavalry. As you can see, there are only 6 legs, but there are quite a few torsos, and that's because of the way that this sprue is laid out. Was meant to either create armored knights or mounted archers. So you know, obviously I'll be using these for French mounted knights because they had the most cavalry on the field in Agincourt, but because I will have you know, some torsos left, I ended up purchasing 2 sprues of War of the Roses horses, which is actually the same sprue that they use for the Agincourt line, in order to utilize these torsos here. So I should have ordered 3, only just to make up for the 1 sprue that I'm missing, but I wasn't thinking about that at the time, and in fact may turn up at some point. But yeah, that's the one way that I can increase the amount of cavalry I have from the initial box, because I have a number of these guys who would be mounted archers, and I would put that on the English side. So that's a cool tip. Get the War of the Roses horse sprue from Perry directly, and you could extend and completely use the sprue for your Agincourt mounted cavalry. All right, next up we have Sir Thomas Erpingham on the command stand here. He was the one who led the archers at the Battle of Agincourt, and then I have a stand of archers with a couple guys with melee weapons. They were in there to help protect the archers from getting attacked, as well as these spikes that they put on the field in order to protect them from mounted cavalry. So I'm just going to bring this up. As you can see, I have Thomas Erpingham, a bannerman, and then a spearman right there. So initially I painted Erpingham with a blue tunic on here. I found that to be incorrect. I was actually using the picture that Perry had on their website, but he would have had possibly a green, which is why I painted his guys here with green accents, and then obviously his flag there. I don't think I'll strip Erpingham here. I'll just keep him as is, but lesson learned. Look at different sources. I'm actually, this was actually the first command stand that I completed fully with banner, so I was pretty pleased about that. All right, so we have the archers here. Again, I'm almost done. As you can see, I have to finish painting their bases and then adding some flocking, but I'm pleased with how these turned out. Use contrast paints to get these done quickly, with a couple just standard paints here and there for certain colors. So this is actually, I believe, half a stand. I have to check the rules that I have to check the Hail Caesar rules, because I think 2 of these bases, which obviously adds up to 12 men, is still considered a small unit, and ideally I want to field these as standard units. I got to look at how many sprues I have left and then just kind of build out from there. So once I get that figured out, I'm hoping to at least have two of these units for a division, because eventually what I'm planning to do is to separate divisions by their commander, and I'm gonna have full division of archers for 100 Years. And finally, we end with King Henry V. Actually, I completed Henry V and his shield bearer quite some time ago, and made a couple changes to his base. His shield bearer initially was over here, and I was going to leave it, but I felt that he actually needed to have his banner. And on the Perry kit for the English army, you have either the regular smaller banner, which would probably be more appropriate for one of his battles, or this long banner, which I think looks better on his command base or command stand. So I'm just going to bring this up. The only thing I need to do to finish this particular command base is to do my washes and highlights for the man-at-arm that is bearing the banner. And for the banner, I actually ended up using the foil and white glue method. So for me, I actually mocked this up, cut with the foil, initially put white glue to bind the foil to the paper. And this is a photocopy of the banner from the Perry kit. But in any case, I found that the foil was moving too much, so I super glued a couple of the ends, waited for both the super glue and the white glue to dry, and then I coated the paper on the outside with some white glue and then did my folds. So all in all, I'm very proud and pleased with how King Henry turned out, and this will definitely look great on the field and on film. So I don't believe that I will be fielding Henry initially in the first battle that I'm going to do of one division versus one division. He's going to be too high of a commander. I do have Sir Thomas Erpingham, so I'm probably going to initially use him, or I also have the Edward Duke of York in progress right now. I just have to finish his command base, but I think at this point it'll be Erpingham as my English commander for the first game. I do have the French High Command on foot. Blister. I haven't done an unboxing of this yet, but I'm going to. So I will definitely need to start working on this so that I can have the French commander completed. I'm not sure who I'm going to use, but the wonderful thing about this kit is that you have so many commanders to choose from, including Charles d'Albret, the Constable of France, who's the overall commander of the French forces at Agincourt. So I'll figure that out. And obviously I have more English than French then, so I have to get on the ball. I do have the French infantry box here. You guys saw that last time I did one of these updates, so I got to start working on that. And that, as in the English box, or the English infantry box, English army box, has both the crossbowmen as well as men-at-arms. So I'm playing around with figuring out what to do with the men-at-arms there, because ideally I want to make the crossbowmen from that box. So okay, that is my 100 Years War update. I worked at a fast clip this past week. Hopefully we'll continue to do so, because I'm really motivated to get a different game onto the channel. Obviously that game's going to be Hail Caesar, and again I'm using Scrivsland's rules, which is just a homebrew mock-up of 100 Years War, since there's no official 100 Years War supplement from Warlord Games. The link is blog down below, which has the rules. The formatting is kind of skewed, so if you do want to use these rules, I have formatted them and saved them as a PDF. I could send that out to you guys. So all right, that is it. Hopefully you enjoyed this vlog and are looking forward to more of the 100 Years War update. I'm very excited to get these on the board and start doing some Hail Caesar, and hopefully you are excited too. If you like this video, go ahead and click like. If you haven't subscribed to the channel, I appreciate it if you would. Click the bell notification icon to get notified of all new hobby vlog coming out of the channel, and click the link in the description below to join our Discord server. That is the best way I can personally interact with you and chit-chat you about 100 Years War, Hail Caesar and any other game that we cover on the channel. That's it. Thanks for watching. Stay tuned for more hobby vlog from WarGamingNewb Historical.